Hello, and welcome to a very special Pearls of Wisdom episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. On today's episode, we are celebrating our 50th episode in style with a collection of Pearls of Wisdom bestowed upon us by our very own drywall guests throughout the year. The Drywall Podcast is also celebrating 1 year of shows this month by replaying our very first episode with Pat's Dugan remastered and in its entirety. Paps was the very first guest of the Drywall Podcast, and his interview holds a special place in my heart. All right, closing thoughts, Paps. What are you going to leave this drywall community with? What words of wisdom are you going to instill upon us? Anything advice, suggestions for the show, advice you could give to the trade? What do you got, man?
I like to just say, keep an open mind,
Yeah.
There's a lot of closed-mindedness going on. As far as in the groups, a lot of people hand finishing the old school, school. Stop dividing. Let's stop dividing, come together, and you show the construction community what this trade is all about.
Yeah.
I think we're stronger together. That hand open is weak, but close that fist. We can demand some things for the community. Demand decent prices and the quality that's in your work says what you get paid,
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Keep an open mind to different ways of finishing, We all can get to the same goal. Just build it up. Let's build up this trade together,
Yep. Yeah. When you build up your fellow tradesmen, everybody rises.
Exactly. It flourishes throughout the nation,
I see that. It's easy to fire off a comment. And I mean, I'm guilty too, man. I see comments all the time where I'm just like, dude, you're an idiot. I want to say, dude, you're an idiot, or are you kidding me? And you know what? It's bringing it to a conscious level to just, I'm just gonna scroll on past. I don't need to say anything, and just try to spread the love.
Exactly, because what? As soon as you scroll past it, you forget about it. It's not bothering you anymore.
Yeah.
So don't stress over it. Just move on. That's what I say.
Yeah. This very special episode and all the episodes in May are brought to you by Techdry Tools. Techdry Tools is USA designed, manufactured, and assembled in Omaha, Nebraska. Their lock design allows you to choose from 3 different size blades that fit right in your pocket. Follow Techdry on TikTok for lots of chances to win free swag. Also, keep your eye out for new and innovative products coming from Techdry soon. Guests of the Drywall Podcast will receive a free Techdry tool along with lots of other great swag in a sweet swag bucket, compliments of CSR. You can find all your awesome drywall tools at CSR in Toronto or csrbuilding.com. The Drywall Podcast was also brought to you by Fresco Harmony for all these months. Fresco Harmony is the world's first color line designed specifically for drywall joint compound. If you haven't heard of it, or if you're curious about it, check out Fresco Harmony on Instagram, Facebook, and also there's over 60 videos on our YouTube page. Fresco Harmony is awesome, and you should definitely check it out. But for now, episode 50. Nothing but pearls of wisdom coming from this episode, people. Sit back and enjoy the wisdom that's been bestowed upon us by our fellow tradesmen. Let's get into it. First up, Cameron Brown from episode 21. Yeah, so that's kind of where my brain's going.
I'm trying to learn fresco from the master.
Yeah, we'll do it, dude. Done. And then also, of course, I end every interview with what would you do? You've been on the internet now a little bit. You're starting to break into the scene. What wisdom could you bestow upon your fellow tradesmen, Cam?
With with persistence will come success. Is
I like it.
Words of wisdom.
Did you think about that prior to the show?
I had to, man. No one else came prepared.
Good.
I've been listening to the podcast. I knew this was good. But no, really. Had I quit doing the videos whenever, my first video that I posted on Instagram sucked, if I'm being honest. And it's still up there.
Yeah.
So everybody can see it.
Yeah.
And had I not sucked that first time, man, I wouldn't be on the podcast today. I wouldn't be here talking to Nick Harmon.
If I hadn't done my first podcast, I wouldn't be here talking to you. You have to risk it all. You have to risk.
You got to put yourself out there, man.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of the other people out there.
All right, so say your pearl of wisdom again.
With persistence will come success.
I like it. Cameron Brown, Precision Drywall, a younger generation of the drywall industry coming up, learning the trade. Thank you for your time today on the Drywall Podcast. We're going to be in touch. We're going to find out how the Fresco Harmony goes.
For sure, Nick. I appreciate you.
And hopefully we'll talk soon, man. Royce Lennox of The Three-Way. This episode was never aired, and this has never been heard. Best part of the show, Royce, pearl of wisdom, if you could bestow upon the drywall community, what would it be?
It would be keep trying new tools, keep trying new things. And it would definitely be give Three-Way a try. It'll revolutionize how you do it. It'll save you time. You might think you're faster and all that, but if you haven't taken a stopwatch, you're just going by feelings. You take a stopwatch and do it, you're going to be surprised at what everything takes, and Three-Way is 25% of your work, and this reduces that down. It's like I say, we went from 4 units to 6, same crew, same amount of time.
Okay.
That says it all. It's like, so even like some people quibble about the price, but things cost money to get made, to get marketed, to get into people's hands, cost money, but it's worth it. It's so totally worth it. You end up, I've broken it down so many times. And I think for the average, a good taper, a good journeyman taper, he's saving about $25 an hour. I hate to throw out any money numbers like that because it so varies on who's doing what.
Yeah.
But you're saving yourself like $25 an hour on your angle time, not just Three-Way, your angle time. Because it's faster to roll, faster to flush, faster to throw the tape, faster to sand, So it affects the whole angle.
Episode 44, owner of Can-Am Tools, Wolfgang Dombrowski. Pearl of wisdom from the great Wolfgang Dombrowski. I almost said Lebowski. What would your pearl of wisdom be?
That's a really good question. I was thinking of that. I guess really at the end of the day, I think it's persistence. Let's just, be persistent and, don't give up. Just keep, especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be and I think, if you're married, it's really good to have your spouse's encouragement too. You have to be on the same page. It's really hard to do this on your own as an entrepreneur. So, having some good support, whomever it is really, really important. Somebody that can speak into your life and encourage you when things go sideways.
Yeah. Yeah. How long have you and Faye been together?
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
Fair to say you know her pretty well?
Yeah. We're still learning.
Always. Just like the tools, man. Just like the trade. Wolfgang Dombrowski, thank you so much for being on the Drywall Podcast today. This was an absolute pleasure. There's probably some stuff we didn't cover. I'm sure there's room for a Can-Am Tools interview part 2. Maybe with Zach. We'll get his on round 2, we'll get his input. He's a little younger. We'll talk more about social media and marketing and influencers and that sort of thing with him. But for now, we will see you at Build 23. Wolfgang's got a booth next to me, and hopefully by the time this drops, we'll have had that experience, and maybe we'll see some of the characters that are listening at Build 23 this year or in future years. But thank you so much. Kevin Bush, Part 2, Adventures in Drywall, Episode 45. Kevin Bush, a Pearl of Wisdom. You want to fire off a Pearl of Wisdom for this episode?
So I'm going to take a different track today on the heels of the Michael's Way and sick kids and all. Up until Justin got sick, I worked like 7 days a week. And when I wasn't working, I'd hang with my buddies and do stuff, and I didn't see a lot of him for the first 3 years he was alive. And when he got sick, I made a deal with God.
Okay.
That if you don't take my son, I'm going to spend more time with my family. And I think you know me by now. If I say something, I mean it. So when he got better, I didn't go to the Eagles games anymore. I didn't go out with my buddies. I spent time with my family. I think that you should work enough that you can support your family in a good way. But nobody ever laid on their deathbed and said, I wish I would have done one more house this month. Spend some more time with your kids and your wife. He who dies with the most good memories of his family wins. So there you go.
I like that. That's fantastic advice for me right now. It's kind of like at the end of the day, that's all we have.
This morning on my ride to Heidi's, I sent you some pictures as I'm pulling in her driveway, and the Bridger Mountains are back there covered with snow and the sun's hitting them. And I took a picture and said, this is what I'm looking at. I actually stopped and took a picture. Stop and smell the roses. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your surroundings. Try and be a good person.
I love it. Thank you so much. That is michaelsway.com if you want to donate to the cause, help out families with kids that are struggling. And also Walls and Ceilings Magazine, Adventures in Drywall. We are going to pick new adventures for the next time Kevin comes on the show. But until then, man, I hope you have a good day, and hopefully this records. If not, we'll get to do it again. I'll pick different topics next time.
Yeah, burn those notes. Next time's all new.
All right, sounds good, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Hey, buddy. Bye.
Kyle Catlin of Drywall Junkies, episode 32. Kyle Catling.
Everybody says Caitlin. Don't feel bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I know it's a hard. Yeah. It was like even like on the second round, it's like hard. Kyle Catling, but I think it's important. Names are important. It's important. I'm really big on like trying to get names right, and even if you screw up, like re-say it again or ask the person, Thank you so much for being on the Drywall Podcast today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
How cool. This was super cool. And, the Drywall Junkies guy, maybe the first, the pioneer of the Facebook pages.
I'm gonna go down in flames if there was someone else before me. But
we'll just say it. If you were before Kyle, I want to hear about it. You can email me at the Drywall Podcast, info@frescoharmony.com. Let me know if we're wrong. There's definitely time to fix it before this airs, but Pearl of Wisdom, every interviewee does a Pearl of Wisdom that they would instill upon the trade. If they had one thing to say to your fellow tradesmen, what would it be?
I go back to asking questions. Make sure you listen to the people that you see they know what they're doing. If they're leaving shitty quality products at the end and they're saying don't do that and cut corners here and there, I'd say stick away from those guys. Surround yourself with people who are winners. Surround yourself with people that are going to elevate you and make you a better person, better tradesman, whatever. Work on yourself so that you can help others in the trade, and take passion in what you do every single day, because that's going to help you strive forward and just become a better tradesperson, tradesman, tradeswoman, however you want to put it. And just do good work for people, because people are paying, they're spending their hard-earned money. Everybody thinks that, oh, well, the client has thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, they got there somehow. Maybe it was a hand-me-down, but most of the time people, they started at the bottom and worked their way up. As you can say, like, I'm a first generation drywaller in my family. I got 2 sons. I'm going to do my best to teach them to be good people and respect others and do good work and take pride in their work. So that's what I say. Take pride in your work, ask as many questions as you can, and listen. Don't ask a question without listening. You got to listen.
Love it. And also, too, just for our listeners, Kyle is he's a normal human like you and I. He started Drywall Junkies. It's a super cool page on Facebook. If you don't know about it, if you've been living in a cave, go check out Drywall Junkies. And we're
on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a website, www.drywalljunkies.com. We're not on TikTok. Not yet anyways. We got some apparel. If you guys want to stay warm, we got lots of warm clothing. We got high vis stuff. We got some cool hats.
Very cool.
Yeah.
If you are inclined, or if you've been a member of Drywall Junkies and you've gotten value out of the group, go buy something and support Kyle and Drywall Junkies by purchasing some swag like that. This is how we support each other in this trade. This is how we lift each other up, is by you can, just because, don't ask for free stuff. Go and buy something from. And where is the best place to buy some cool Drywall Junkies swag?
That would be on www.drywalljunkies.com. If you're unsure, you can find me on the Facebook group under admins and just message me. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can, and I can direct you in that way if you have any questions about anything. But the support would be great, guys. Trying to get that Drywall Junkies name out there a bit more, and we just want to eventually get into brand of tools and specific clothing for the trade for us as the tradespeople out in the field. And because we're the ones that do the work out there, and we want to, keep everybody safe and efficient. And that's kind of where our mindset is behind here. I'm not in it to make millions of dollars. I'm in here to help the community. So anything you guys can do to help works.
Jason Griffin of the Drywall Artist Series, episode 20. Jason, super pleasure, dude. Jason Griffin. You can find Jason on what do we got here? We got Drywall Sculpting with Jason on YouTube.
I've only got a few videos,
Doesn't matter. I want to check that out.
Working on it.
And there's a Facebook page, Jason Griffin Artworks.
Yes, with an X.
With an X. And Instagram?
No, I don't have any. I mean, I do have that stuff, but I don't really have anything on that stuff.
Okay, that's fine.
Not very tech savvy.
And Jason's an amazing artist. Pearl of wisdom you could bestow on the drywall community.
Pride and integrity.
Pride and integrity. I like it.
You have those two things, you should be a pretty good drywaller, man. And really anything, whether it's concrete, build my house, I mean, whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah.
A little bit of pride, because pride is not that bad. Too much pride is bad. Pride's not bad. And integrity is very important. Always making sure you're doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
Love this conversation, dude. I love it. So. Jason Griffin, and your company name?
It's just me and Jim, really. Jim's company name is
Jim and Jason's Specialty Wall Works.
Yeah, we just go with our stuff. All our builders know who we are. They just know us by a company name.
Do you have a logo or anything?
No, we don't do that stuff. You know, we're in a small area and we just keep it small. And
good for you.
We've had the same builders for 20 years. So, I mean,
love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Drywall Podcast, the first of 3 badass sculptors. And these are going to be all in a row. And I think they're going to be great. Really to me anyways. I mean, whatever, I think they're going to be interesting to our listening community too. People that are taking a joint compound and doing something cool and new with it. Keith Peterson of the Drywall Artist Series, episode 28.
Try it out.
And then, of course, Pearl of Wisdom. What would you bestow upon the drywall community if you could put something on a billboard or share some insight with your drywall community nationally and globally?
I would say enjoy your work, enjoy doing drywall, and just know that you're providing a very important service to your clients. And you're making their lives better, and because sometimes we just do it for the paycheck, Yeah. And we actually need to enjoy the work and just know that you're doing something good, and that makes you feel good, when you're doing something, providing a service for someone.
Yeah.
And, also,
it's a different perception when you look at it that way.
Yeah. And it makes work more fun, it makes it easier when you have that set of mind. And then but I also want to say, especially to the younger guys out there, that are starting to do drywall, do drywall, enjoy it while you're doing it, but also have a plan to eventually get out of it,
Sure.
And, save 10% of your income, and invest and have a way out of it eventually, because you're not going to be able to do drywall for the rest of your life.
If you're in the union, they have retirement plans and things like that. But if you're on your own or you're working for somebody on the side, in your 40s, you start thinking about that retirement and, a plan for the future, things like this. And you don't really think about it in your 30s as much, or your 20s. You don't think about it at all in your 20s, but plan for the future.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Bernie Mitchell, episode 29. What else were we going to talk about, Bernie? Did we cover it all?
What do you want to know about drywall?
You're looking around like, oh man, it's time to get back to work over here, man. I got empty seams here that are calling my name.
Yeah.
Well, Bernie, hey, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm very much looking forward to meeting you in person at CSR Friday. I can't believe it. How cool is that? And this won't drop for a little while, a couple weeks or whatever, but it's been a great interview. I appreciate your time.
It was nice talking to you. Huh?
What is your pearl of wisdom?
I guess it'd be that there's no pleasure in doing shit work or leaving shit work, If you're going to come to the job, do your best and go home happy at the end of the day.
Pride. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree.
It makes me tick,
Yeah.
I may not be the best, but I sure try to be, because that's why I want to do this.
I love that. I feel like you could just be a full-time artist if you wanted to, and you could have traveled that path. I love that you like finishing drywall, and that's your passion. That's your real, that's sort of your real, that's what makes you tick,
Yeah, the art is too, but it's just when I'm ready to do it, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what I'm going to do and where I'm going to do it, and it's going to get lit properly.
Yeah,
and because they got to be presented properly, So
yeah. I was thinking about how cool it would be to have all three of the drywall artists come and do a collaborative piece in Albuquerque. How fun would that be?
That'd be a hoot.
Wouldn't that be fun? And maybe
we could share our techniques and our ideas.
Yeah, I could pitch it to like the New Mexico Museum of Art or something. See if they'd let us have a wall or something cool.
Sure.
Bernie Mitchell out of Buckhorn, Ontario. Thank you so much for being on the Drywall Podcast today. Okay. Do you have a YouTube page?
I do.
You do, and what's that?
I haven't used it in years. I don't even know if I could find it. But yeah,
okay.
I do.
What's your website?
It's berniemitchell.ca.
berniemitchell.ca, and you can also find him on Instagram under the B Mitch handle, and also Facebook. There's a couple of pages on Facebook. I'm sure if you look up Bernie Mitchell, you can see a lot of your cool art.
Yeah, if you brought me up on Google, you'll find all kinds of stuff on me, and I should be at the top of the list. When you Google.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're curious about these articles, or I'm sure you could look up Bernie Mitchell, San Francisco Globe, and that article would come up also. Thank you so much. And shoot, man, we'll see you in a couple days at CSR.
Looking forward to it.
Kyle Herbert, Honky Tonk Taper, episode 43. All right. Pearl of wisdom that you could bestow upon the drywall community, put it on a billboard. What would you say to your fellow finishers and boardmen, sheetrockers in the industry?
Oh, there's a lot that I could say. Oh, fuck.
No, it's got to be good,
I don't know.
dude.
Like, there's this,
a pearl of wisdom from a 23-year-old.
Dude, even like every day I'm looking for wisdom.
You're still
not much I can say.
Well, you know what? That is a good pearl of wisdom, Kyle. Always be looking for a pearl of wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
Try not to know it all.
Well, I think there's one. Oh, yeah.
You got one? You got one? Let's have it.
I think so. I've heard this years ago.
Okay.
And my dad was giving me shit.
Okay.
It was like, you know what? Doesn't matter how you do the job as long as you get done. But how it came down to is him saying there's more than one way to skin a cat, but only one way to eat it. Meaning, no matter how the hell you do the job, whether it be shitbox, bazooka, banjo, tube, and applicator, it doesn't matter. How you get it done,
yep,
still gonna get done at the end of the day.
That's right.
So
that's a good one. Yeah. When I was training Jack with Fresco, I never wanted to let him do it because I wanted it to look a certain way. And then finally, the busier we got, the busier I got selling product, doing other shit, I had to let go. And as you get older and you might train people to work with you, people that train people understand there's a letting go point where you have to let go, and they're not going to do it the way that I want it done. He still doesn't do it the way I want it done. He's messier than me. I'm clean as fuck.
Yeah.
But like, he's messy. That's fine. But all I care about is when I walk on after that job is sealed, that it looks good. That's all I give a shit. Like to obviously try not to leave a huge mess when we're in people's homes and shit like that. But like, I get annoyed by that. But at the end of the day, man, if that tape is getting on, if those butts and bands are getting ran cleanly, it looks good, and the homeowner's happy, then that's a win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm a very, very messy taper. It's disgusting. There's more mud on the floors than there are walls. But
okay,
it's okay. It still looks pretty.
That's just the way you roll with it, man. And hey, you know what, Kyle, too? I appreciate your honesty, man. Kayla Sullivan Beckett, the Taping Queen, episode 40. Kayla Sullivan Beckett. One chick taper, the tapering queen, and then in Portuguese it's called
La Reine de la Pasta.
Oh, I like that. If you had a pearl of wisdom, what would it be? If you could tell all the drywallers, put it on a billboard, maybe on a banner at the next Intech show when you walk in, here's a banner by Kayla. What would it say? What would you tell your community?
Just never stop and never give up. Because like there's just so much more to it, but it's like it's a motto I live by. You know, you get what you give. You know, like never give up, even when the whole world, like when the odds of me, where everything's stacked against me. I'm a female in the industry. You know, I was trying to break out on my own. You know, I got my stuff. I don't even know how many times my shit got robbed. You know, truck got broken into, tools got stolen. You know, totally ripped down and degraded by men and women. Like it's not just men, like women too. Like women are catty as hell.
I'm married to one. Like
so it's like it just like when everything is stacked against you, that's when you can shine the brightest.
Like it. I like it.
You know, like just never give up and like never, you know, like I said, it's just there's so many that goes into it, but it's like just never give up. Just keep going forward. Like even when everything is like stacked against you, you have 100 bad days in a row. That one good day is going to make up for all of those bad days.
Murray Jordan, Optimum Drywall, episode 27. Okay, and then the question I ask everybody that comes onto the show, it's not a question, it's more of a comment. If you could tell the drywall community a pearl of wisdom that is special from the heart of Murray Jordan, what would it be?
I would say just never give up. Don't stop. Be strong mentally and physically. Just stay with it and just, you know, reach for the mountaintop. I can't quit. I just can't. It's just not in me.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. Good stuff,
I'm a drywaller, man. Yeah, I'm a drywaller, man. It's on. It's official.
It's on. And I like it. I like it. The drywall industry just kind of sort of it's almost like you didn't pick it. It's almost like it picked you. Like
you're right. It did.
That's my takeaway from the story. It's like came in and it showed you what you needed to be doing. Like it's cool.
I love it. It's fun. Everybody say, "Oh, I can't do it," but I love it. It's fun. It's tons of equipment. I'm ready to rock, man.
Myron Ferguson, that drywall guy, episode 35.
My father was a trucking and excavating business, so he did all that foundations and stuff. So one of his advice was, Myron, if they ask you to come down on your price, like let's say, and his example was, Myron, if they ask you to maybe if you go $500 less, always say yes. But I won't be taping the garage, you know, or I can do it for $500 less, but I won't backfill your foundation.
Yeah, we're not sanding.
Give us some value. Now all of a sudden they're like, oh man, that actually has value. You know, and that
I can do it for 500 less, but we're eliminating. I won't be sanding anything on this job.
Yeah.
You know, so you might want to go with consider a thick texture.
Yeah, right. So don't ever say no. Just give it some value, and maybe you know.
Well, I was going to ask for a pearl of wisdom, but I tell you what, man, that is a pearl of wisdom right there. Like, you know, instead of saying no, just consider what each step is worth.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you did have a pearl of wisdom, what would you bestow upon the drywall community?
I don't know. I guess maybe be proud of what you do, you know, because I didn't go into the drywall business because I was too dumb, for lack of a better word, to do anything else.
Right.
You know, I flunk out of school. Now I got to do drywall work. I chose to do it.
Yeah.
So if you actually think for 1 second that I just do this because I couldn't do anything else, that's not true at all. I do this.
Right.
I want to do it. I feel good about doing it. I mean, you know, the one little funny thing I always say is I've never been to a gym to exercise. But for example, sometimes I sand drywall for 11 hours. Now that's pretty good exercise.
Yeah.
But it does keep you physically fit to certain extent. You're lifting heavy stuff, dragging heavy stuff around all day. And so it's not bad for you. It's a good profession. Building in general is a good profession.
Yeah.
As long as you are proud of what you do and you don't do anything crazy, like, you see people climbing on scaffolding they shouldn't be, or without a mask or anything like that.
Yeah, or get a DUI the day before they're supposed to show up to work, and you got to bail them out of jail.
Yeah. I show up. If I am going to be at your house at 7 a.m., I'm going to open a door at 7 a.m. I'm going to be standing, and I'm going to be dressed decently. I'm going to have a clean shirt and clean pants on.
Yeah.
And the truck is not leaking oil all over your driveway either. That's
right.
That's how
I got in trouble for that one time, and my truck didn't leak, but I just parked in this GC's driveway once, and he gave me an earful, and never again. Yeah. Little things though, you pick up those things, like you could ruin a driveway. You better have some good liability insurance, and if your guys are parking in the driveways of homes, tell them to stop, man, because that can cost you a lot of money.
Right. It's the little things, like if you chew tobacco, where are you going to be spitting all day? That was a problem I ran into a few times with employees.
Well, I chewed tobacco, and I spit it into the mud boxes with the bags. I put the bags around, and I'd have little spittoons all over the place.
Yeah.
And people get pissed off at me because they put their hand in it, and they try to smush down the garbage. I'm like, sorry, dude. Yeah, what you don't want to do is spit all over the floor.
No.
And you just I think it's important to have a little awareness.
Right.
When
you gotta be respectful. Now, even with smoking, it was hard to find a drywaller who didn't smoke back in the day. And, what? I kind of feel sorry for the smokers sometimes, because there's no place for them to go, and everybody seems to hate them. So
yeah. Hey, if you're out there and you're still smoking, we love you. We still love you through it.
Yeah. I know, but you can't do it. You just can't do it.
You're welcome. You're welcome on the Drywall Podcast.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm not. Yeah, I don't like to be prejudiced.
But I'll also say this: you might want to try to consider trying to quit, because it's very unhealthy. Daniel Osborne, DRR Drywall, episode 7. If there was a billboard or a bullet point that you could instill upon the drywall industry today, what would it be?
I'm not expensive, you're cheap. No.
Right.
It's a little self-serving.
I'm not expensive, you just can't afford me.
Everything rises and falls on leadership. And if you're not leading yourself first, you're not going to lead anyone in your company, and you're not going to leave a good impression in your community, and you're not going to be able to lead in value exchange or cost leadership. So everything rises and falls on leadership, and that depends on your discipline. So no one's saying that you have to go to the same type of church as someone else. No one's saying that your vehicle has to look just like someone else's, or you have to spend $9,000 on metal credit cards with gold embossing. But what you do, you're going to have to do consistently. And if you're not, then you're not just hurting yourself. You are bringing the standard of your trade, of your craft, and ultimately of your community down. And that's not how I want to be remembered. And I'm sure most everyone listening to this, whether you've been exposed to this before or not, we're here to raise the bar, raise the standard.
Mm-hmm. Excellent ending. Daniel Osborne raising the standard for drywall in Florida and throughout the country. Megan Robertson, Meg's Drywall, episode 36. Yeah. Pearl of wisdom. What's your pearl of wisdom you could bestow upon the drywall community, Meg?
Oh, I don't know. Just have fun every day.
Have
Live,
fun.
laugh, love, right? Like have fun. Enjoy life. If you don't enjoy your job, don't do it.
What does the future hold for Meg's Drywall? Where do you want to go with all this? Do you have any like plans?
Oh, I want to be a politician. So I'm trying to make my company run itself so that I can go off and be a politician on the side. I'm still going to travel though, because I love it and I would miss it.
I miss it. I miss it a little bit. My thing sort of runs itself and I do a lot of this type of stuff and product stuff. And, I miss it. I got to run like one corner at the show with the Predator. And I was like, oh my God, like this would be fun to run all day. Like this tool, like it's so much better.
Really cool if there was like a really big job and we got all like the really cool drywallers to come together and we all work together. I think that'd be a super fun thing to do. Yeah.
I think it would be really easy to do. And, a giant custom. And I mean, just invite everybody. And like, if you want to come. And if you don't, you can stay back. But I think we could wrangle that.
Yeah, I think that'd be so much fun.
I would like to.
Different. So like, it'd be neat to see how everyone works and what they do, and learn different things, right? Like
trash talking. A lot of trash talking.
Yeah. That's the hard part about being a woman in construction in drywall. Everything is dirty. Like the rep from Marshalltown asked me what knives he likes, and I was like, "Oh, I love the 10-inch."
Yeah.
I just started laughing. I said, "That's so bad."
Yeah, 10-inch can wipe a butt joint like no other.
That's right. Or clean your dirty box. Go clean your dirty box.
Man, I tell you what, there is a lot of like really good dirty references in drywall. Just maybe more the whole box conversation and the inches. That's just tons of good fodder. Jake Creeley, the Spy Sponge, episode 39. Do you have a pearl of wisdom that you can bestow upon the drywall industry that you could put on a billboard or something? One question I would have to a person like you that runs a ton of finishers would be surrounding like training. If you had like a pearl of wisdom that you could bestow on like people that are out there looking for workers, because you probably deal with this a lot, training people up, getting new workers, keeping new workers. Like there's got to be a pearl of wisdom in there that you could tell. Like if somebody's looking for one or two guys and they just can't find anybody, you're like, you're training these dudes every week.
Yep.
I'm sure you have a ton of turnover. How do you navigate that, man?
So you gotta work out a system. You got to work out a system that is consistent on every single job. And mine is that, we do coach these individuals up. We don't change their system. There are a few things that we do differently, such as, we pre-fill prior to taping with Durabond 90 lightweight. That is a change that some guys might, or women come up here and they've never been taught to pre-fill. They just start taping. So that's like a mandatory thing that we have. And then ultimately,
you don't need to pre-fill, do you?
Myself personally, depends on the hanging crew that I go behind.
That's true. Or the quality of the sheetrock, right?
The quality of the sheetrock. But so, I would say creating those systems to help with the quality. I would say, honestly, the biggest thing would be for tapers is always inspecting after them, taking that time, flash a light. It always helps because once it's painted, if they missed a few areas, it can cost you, with your builders. I would say, I have a lot of systems in place. But if it comes to your recruiting tapers, I really look for people that are coachable. People are stuck in their ways, but I do recruit individuals that might be qualified, but they don't have the best attitudes, and I'll pass on them, where we'll have somebody that's at least willing to be coachable. And if I say, hey, on every single job, you need to check it with a light, use a spy sponge, but if you choose not to, you still have to use a light. I coach them that way.
Yeah.
And doing something like that on a volume basis is, it pays dividends. So finding those individuals that are at least coachable and are willing to, listen to, maybe some suggestions.
Your workers might disagree with me, but do you feel like do you pay well? Like guys that are good, do you pay them well?
Yeah. Yep. We actually recruit nationwide. So
okay.
I just don't recruit locally. We recruit nationwide. We have a whole process in place. In New York.
Interesting. So you'll reach out like online or?
Yeah. Yep. So we have a whole, web page, ashfordgypsum.com.
Okay.
We advertise throughout Facebook, all throughout the country. And then, in New York, it's different. There's no subbing to a sub of like. So if you're a drywaller, you can't sub to another drywaller. If you're a builder or GC, you can sub to a drywaller. So you just can't bring up people and, okay, they get insurance and they're a 1099, a DBA. So everybody that works for us, they're on the books, employees.
Yeah, smart.
And so we handle that, but we're also doing anywhere from 20 to 30 residential homes a week, typically, and then we do commercials. So one of the things that we offer is that, you're paid every Friday. You have a work or an address every single week. You do not have that downtime. So we pay, in our opinions, very well. We pay more than anyone around here. But I know there's places where, hey, there's a military base or there's a hotel and they pay a premium, but it's not long-term work. So for what we offer, we pay well.
Yeah, you have to. Jay Hodges, AG Drywall, episode 41. AG Drywall, Jay Hodges, out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thank you so much for being on the Drywall Podcast today. Pearl of wisdom that you could bestow upon the drywall community. What do you got?
Stay true to your craft. Learn as much as you can. Don't think you know everything. If you want to learn something, don't hesitate to ask for help. Don't hesitate to ask somebody a question, because we don't know everything, and it's so much for us to learn. I have the Greco pump now. I got about 6 months ago, and just that's helping me out. So always, look for broadening your horizon. Don't put a box around yourself.
I like it.
Yeah, so that's the thing I can say, because we get stuck in our ways. We think, I'm not doing that. That's crap. No. Leave that door open. Step outside the box. Don't shut yourself off of things. Try to learn new techniques. Try to learn new crafts. Try to learn as much because when you do, that's just more clientele you can get. That's more customers you can get. The more you know, the more you can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Corey Fisher, the Techdry Tool, episode 4. Anything you want to bestow upon the drywall community? If you had a billboard that you could put up a saying, or just say something to the drywall community that you've always wanted to say, what would it be?
I'm going to use the same one as last time, and you just got to be all in, man. You got to
be all in.
Yeah, to do drywall and invent whatever. You can't give yourself excuses. It could be anything, even if you're an apprentice starting out, you have to immerse yourself so much that you can't quit,
Yeah.
Just listen, go to work, and do what you can.
I like it. I agree. I think that, and maybe and it's not even so much passion. It's just pride in your work. You
gotta have that too.
There's a difference between somebody that's just working for a paycheck and somebody that cares.
100%.
That guy that cares is going to get, that he's sought after, or she is sought after. The person that is just getting a paycheck, watching the clock all day, we know,
definitely,
it's
obvious. We get most of our recommendations just from that, our cleanup and being on time every day. We leave a job every day, dude. We clean up every day. the floors, vacuum, whatever we need to do. And it looks like we weren't even there except for there's mud on the wall.
Right.
And we have a line of work that won't quit. We get calls every day.
Aaron and Elliot of Columbia Tools, episodes 23 and 26.
Awesome. Thanks for having us again, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. We did the branding CSR. I'll probably see you guys and get to meet you there. Yeah. Oh, your pearl of wisdom for Columbia Tools. If you could instill a pearl of wisdom upon the drywall community in any capacity, what would it be? What would you put on a billboard if you could say something? We could do both you guys.
For me, it would be never think you're the best at what you're doing, because that gets you in a hole. You always want to be innovating, trying to be better at what you do to move forward. Like if you kind of pause yourself if you think you're the best at what you do, and you kind of let people pass you. So you want to always be thinking about how to be better at what you do. Yeah, I think my pearl of wisdom to the drywall trade would be, just taking from my own experience, is when most of them are entrepreneurs at a level, even if they're even a sub trade being paid by the foot, they are the business themselves, is to, give themselves a pat on the back for the hard work they do, and be like, most people out there nowadays, Nick, I mean, I call it fake work, and there's a lot of fake jobs out there nowadays where people don't do a lot in a day because of technology. And I'm not knocking those people, because maybe that's what's available to them. Maybe that's what works for them. But I don't care what you say. There's no drywaller that's fake working out there. No. I don't know how you would do that. No. How you would fake, not working hard at drywall.
Yeah.
And I think people should give themselves a pat on the back. I mean, I think you did a tough job. So that's all.
Yeah. Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
But don't think you're the best.
No. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Like, if you're, you know what I mean? Like, if otherwise you just keep going down a hole and you can't catch the marbles because they're falling everywhere. And I always like to just do something today that'll help me out tomorrow, right? And never ever consider yourself just a drywaller, because I as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty obvious. So yeah.
That's a bad rabbit hole to go down. I talked a little bit on the David Lee interview about mental health. It's a real thing, and be aware, be gentle with yourself, and you're doing something original and unique, and and also we have a choice every day of how we want to live sort of each day. Yeah. What we want to make happen.
Not everyone can do drywall, and it's a thing that is pretty widely acknowledged by a lot of people. Like carpenters are like, I can't do that. But yet the respect doesn't seem to flow, even though people know they can't do it, but they kind of like, I don't know. They go, I know a guy, he's great at it, and they just kind of leave it to him. But then drywallers themselves, I mean, there is more pride coming into the trade. There is more coming in. There is a lot more coming in.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what we really liked about Phil, and that's what we liked about was like bringing all the brand ambassador, everybody is bringing pride, bringing pride into the industry, and it's the most badass industry out there.
Sean Ramsden, Brawley's dad, construction, episode 30.
At the very beginning,
you've had a bunch of pearls of wisdom, but let's fire off. The gem, the diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I think you need to eat as much shit as possible coming up, right? All the difficult things that nobody else wants to do, you have to put your hand up for a couple of reasons, right? You'll get that experience. If nobody wants to do it, nobody's going to rush you to do it, right? And if you screw it up the first time, everybody's expecting you to, right? But you're not going to grow if you're not doing really difficult things all the time. And you got to show up. You got to hustle. It's, a lot of guys get into these positions where they're like, well, everyone else is just kind of dragging their feet, so that's all we have to do here. And it's just a terrible way to live. I have to be exhausted, and I have to be doing difficult things all the time, or I'm bored. It's I think that's a big one. Take on as much difficult stuff as you can. The stuff that sucks is the good stuff eventually.
Yeah. I was talking with somebody about learning how to clean. My first 6 months in the union, all I did was clean fucking tools. Okay. And like, it was shitty, and you get messy and wet at the end of the day, and it's cold. But you know what? Like, it never bothered me to bust out those tools because I was so good at cleaning them.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that. Like, one remedial task leads to the next. Same with scaffold. I was moving scaffold a bunch. I could set scaffold up like nobody's business, you know? And those tasks that just seem remedial and lame at first, like they'll pay off and later, and realize you're not, you know, you have a lot of time. Be patient. You don't have to learn the entire trade, like, you know, all at once.
Yeah. And you also need to understand when you've learned it and move on. That was a lot of my career was I got to the point where I'd outgrown, and then you have to leave. You know, like, I worked for guys that were like, well, I'm not going to teach you that, or what would I be here for? Okay. Like,
that's silly.
We'll see you later. Right. But that is how guys keep their positions, I guess. But I mean, when you're good, nobody's ever coming for my position. Right. Because the people that are around me, they're growing, they're learning. It's a good thing for everybody, right? It's not this feast or famine mentality anymore. It's more of the community. And I think we're seeing that more and more with CSR and Instagram for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're reaching out to guys that effectively are your competition, and you're having discussions about how to do better.
It's very cool.
It's very cool. Yeah.
And kudos to you too for firing up a podcast as well. I look forward to hearing it, and stay tuned for Brawley's Dad Construction Podcast, or Brawley's Dad Podcast, or, you know, whatever name we come up with.
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to do an Instagram page for that entity.
I think so.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, like a standalone page.
Jeff Mills Drywall, episode 42. Jeff Mills Drywall out of Ellington, Connecticut. If you could put a saying on a billboard, or a pearl of wisdom, I like to say, what would it be to instill inspiration upon your drywall community? What would it be? What would you tell them?
I would say better communication, answer your phone, text the people back. I feel like there's such a lack of communication nowadays.
Good one.
That I think open communication, like, everyone's got their phone on all the time. You text a contractor and they take 24 hours to text you back.
Yeah,
that's bullshit, man. Like someone texts me, quotes, numbers, anything, dude. I literally I give numbers out. Someone texts me for a number, I will literally stop what I'm doing and figure out that quote, and I'll get back to them within an hour. And honestly, maybe that's a lot of the reason why I'm so busy, because I over communicate to the point where I feel like I annoy people, but there's a lack of communication out there amongst subs, contractors, trade to trade, trade before, trade after.
Yep.
You got to look out for everybody, and everyone's, you know, we're all just trying to make these houses nicer, you know, rebuild stuff. Just communication, as far as just being like, I will be there at this time tomorrow, and being there within a 5-minute, 10-minute window of that time frame. No one shows up on time. I go to, you know how many jobs I go to, and people are like, wait, you're actually here when you said you were going to be here?
Right.
Oh, 3 days in a row you're here when you, like, I schedule myself out 2 to 3 weeks, hour by hour. I know exactly how many hours each job is going to take me at that aspect per coat or whatever.
Smart.
You know, as far as communication, another thing with communication with contractors. I have so many contractors, great contractors. They're all guessing my numbers at this point. But to be honest, you know, they don't know every aspect of the drywall. So just ask me. Just be like, hey, Jeff, you mind swinging by this job? Give me a number before I put the bid in. So that way not in the, you know, 12th hour, and I send you the bill and you're like, oh man, why is it so much? I'm like, dude, it was like 80-some sheets. And it's like, oh, I thought it was only 50. And plus all the patchwork. Like, no, it's not. Like, just ask me. I don't care. You're a contractor. You're not a drywall contractor. You don't know every aspect of this business. So just ask. I never would bid a job without asking someone, like a big job, asking someone, give me your numbers before, at least.
Right. Yeah. To all you damn contractors that are listening to the Drywall Podcast, if you're listening, don't worry. There aren't any. Yeah. This is just, you know what? This is just for us, buddy. This is just for the drywallers.
Contractors. To a lot of the contractors, drywall is just drywall. It's just like, I just get the walls done. Doesn't matter.
They don't care about us.
No, not really. Everybody likes their kitchens and their tile and their this and their that.
Oh yeah. Bow down to the cabinet guy.
Bow down to the electrician and light fixtures.
Electrician, he's wandering around like a, clean, no broom, dropping
clean,
stuff all over.
His mess.
Yeah, leaving wrappers and stuff all over.
Yeah.
Special thanks to all of the amazing drywall professionals who graced us with their inspiration. We appreciate you all. The Drywall Podcast can be listened to on your favorite platforms such as Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also YouTube. Guests of the Drywall Podcast moving forward will receive a swag bucket from CSR Building Supplies in Toronto. Today's episode of the Drywall Podcast and all of the episodes of the Drywall Podcast in the month of May are brought to you exclusively by Techdry Tools. Techdry Tools is USA designed, manufactured, and assembled in Omaha, Nebraska. Their lock design allows you to choose from 3 different size blades that fit right in your pocket. Follow Techdry on TikTok for lots of chances to win free swag. Also, keep your eye out for new and innovative products coming from these guys soon. Thank you so much for tuning into the Drywall Podcast over the last year. I cannot express how much I appreciate it. Stay tuned this next year for more amazing shows coming to you from the Drywall Podcast. But until then, just keep drywalling.